Hello, this is Alexander Cross, Criminal Defense here in the San Francisco Bay Area. If you'd like to learn more about criminal defense, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, law offices of Cross & Associates, and feel free to ask questions in the comment section below so that we may respond in the future with more videos. So, we received an interesting inquiry here on our YouTube channel. This has to do with a plea bargain with the District Attorney's Office. Let's see here. I was arrested for an assault that I didn't commit. Now I'm being offered a plea deal. I don't know what decision to make. Wow. Yeah, unfortunately, this is something that occurs to probably 90+% of people who are accused of a crime and claim to be innocent. The plea bargain. Now, the natural knee-jerk reaction is to say, hell no, I'm not taking a plea bargain. I'm innocent. I'm not going to do anything. I'm taking this thing to trial. One moment. Hold on a sec. Let's talk about a couple of things. Number one, are you being represented by a private attorney, or do you have the public defender's office? This is particularly relevant. I'll tell you why. If you qualify for the public defender's office, you don't really have to consider the economics of it, the money. But you should really talk to your public defender to ask him, well, in your opinion, what are my chances of actually winning this thing? You really need to factor that in, because if the public defender feels or he acts as if he doesn't think he could win, he's probably not going to. And, you know, based on what he says. Now, if he says, no, there's no way, you're gonna skeet through the decision. You'll easily, you know, squeeze through the door of reasonable doubt. Don't worry about it. Okay, in that situation, you might want to consider it, and that's it. That's your consideration. Now, if you have a private attorney, let's say you don't qualify. Let's say you don't qualify for the public defender's office because you make too much money. Depending on the county, sometimes if you have a couple $1,000s in your bank account, public defender will not accept you. If you make, in some counties, if you make more than $2,500 a month, they will not accept you. So you need to this needs to be factored in, and I'll tell you why. What if you're somebody who makes, let's say you make $4,000, $5,000 a month, right? Let's just say you make $4,000, $5,000 a month. And by force, you have to get a private lawyer because the public defender just will not accept you because you make too much. So now you have to have this conversation with the private attorney, which is, well, how much are you going to charge me to go to trial? Private attorney might tell you, well, to take this case to trial, I'm going to have to charge you $30,000 or $40,000, whatever it might be. Maybe more, I don't know, depending on the lawyer, depending on his experience, whatever. Well, you might be like, wait a minute. Okay, well, I'm innocent. I don't have $40,000. I don't have $30,000. I can't afford to get myself into debt. Then you also have to ask yourself, you have to factor this in, is, well, what's the offer I'm being given? What's the deal that can be worked out? Because if you were accused of assault with a deadly weapon, under Penal Code Section 245, parentheses A, parentheses 1, you'd be looking at a potential 4-year state prison and a strike if a jury were to find you guilty. But let's say they're giving you an offer where all you're doing is 30 days of sheriff's work or community service. You have to pay some fines, some fees, 3 years of court probation. Or let's say, hypothetically, they're willing to reduce it to a misdemeanor. That you might have to factor it in in order to save that $40,000. The other thing you got to factor in is, well, what's your immigration status? Are you a citizen? If you're a citizen, you don't really have much of a... it's not really that high of a risk, because once you do a record expungement, it's not really going to affect you all that much as long as you don't go to prison. Because you can't do record expungements if you go to prison. If you go to prison, that's another story. But if you're not a U.S. citizen, this crime is something that would result in deportation and exclusion of the United States and denial of naturalization, because if assault with a deadly weapon is a crime of moral turpitude. So you have to factor in all these potential risks and the costs. I understand that you don't know what decision to make. You really need to sit down with your attorney, and you got to list all the pros and cons. What are the pros and cons of taking a plea deal versus what is the possibility of actually getting an acquittal at jury trial versus being convicted of something you didn't do, plus the cost. You really have to do a balancing act. It's not black and white. It's a very difficult decision to make, to go to jury trial. I'm just going to let you know, statistically speaking, Statistically speaking, when it comes to criminal law, out of every 100 cases here in the San Francisco Bay Area, less than 3, maybe 2 will go to trial. So consider that. Regardless, if you'd like to learn more about criminal defense here in the San Francisco Bay Area, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Law Offices of Cross & Associates, and feel free to ask questions in the comment section below in order to respond, so that we can respond in the future with more videos like this one. But if you've been accused of a crime and need representation here in the San Francisco Bay Area, call us now for free consultation at 1-800-862-7677. Once again, 1-800-862-7677. On our next video, we're going to be discussing the case of somebody who got accused of selling drugs. Criminal lawyer, criminal lawyers, DUI lawyer, DUI lawyers, criminal attorney, criminal attorneys, DUI attorney, DUI attorneys.